You've got some charts to illustrate some key trends.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that we thought about is whether the stress in the markets is pretty high or not. Because if you just read the headlines, you get to understand that rupee is close to record lows, Thai baht is at multi-year lows. So we want to see to what extent some of these sell-offs can turn into the crisis kind of situation, or FX market crisis. And so what we did is we started a lot of these stress or crisis periods right back from Asia financial crisis to the global financial crisis in purple, and then you've got your 2015 big sell-off when China started selling off, and we also have the taper tantrums of the 2013s, and we have tracked how far down Asian currencies have come. The big takeaway here is the good news is, even though you may read about record lows here and there, no need to panic. Panic is overblown, because you can see clearly the currencies are not selling off to the extent of the AFC or the GFC, but stress levels are similar to the taper tremors of 2013, as well as the 2015 China sell-off, which tended to be a bit more prolonged. So one takeaway here is that we probably want to watch this closely, and we should not discount further stress in the markets in coming months. And so these are the two things to bear in mind in terms of prolonged volatility in the markets.
Now, Vishnu, one of the key things that worries a lot of investors in ASEAN as well, obviously, you've just highlighted that whole risk towards currencies and contagion. What's your view in some specific, and you've mentioned the Thai baht at its record lows. The ringgit is also about to test its record lows. Which other currencies do you think that seem to be under stress and perhaps we shouldn't worry about or should worry about?
Well, in terms of currencies under stress, with respect to, let's look at it two ways. One is in terms of levels. If you're looking at close to record low levels or multi-year low levels, you just touched on the Thai baht, ringgit. We also have the Indian rupee, and to some extent the Philippine peso also continues to be under pressure, especially if oil prices remain sticky and food inflation continues to be a problem. Usually these things send inflation higher and the currency lower. So these are the things we want to watch for. An outlier this time, not playing to the usual tune, is the Indonesian rupiah, which is holding up better than it has historically, but we warn against complacency here. Last week we had some surprise central bank moves, including the Philippine Central Bank that did a 75 basis point intermeeting move. And so that tells us about the pressures and the stress building up when it comes to market stability. What do we not need to be concerned about? At this point, I think it would be reckless of me to suggest that we can not be concerned, or we can just glaze past these things. So for now, I think we need to be watchful, but there's no need to panic just yet. We have seen these down cycles. And I think the key issue here is to keep an eye on where inflation is headed, exactly what the Fed is doing, and how domestic markets are holding up, particularly with monetary policy adjustments, and the ability to deal with very, very large price shocks, whether it's fuel